I want to talk about tonight is I want to talk a little bit about Moltdown. It's been 2 years since Moltdown happened, and I know a lot of the players that play here now. Well, not a lot of them, but some of them, probably a good significant portion of them, were not around here when Moltdown happened. So I kind of just want to go over what really happened. There's a lot of mistruths. There's a lot of stuff that's still floating around out there that's just not true about what happened with Moltdown to this very day that really hasn't come to light. And a lot of stuff that's been buried. For instance, you can't even get on the forums and post anything with the words Moltdown without it being not so much banned, but they put it under review and then they never let your post go through. Anything to do with that time is completely blocked out from the forums, which is a big question mark. It raises a lot of questions. Why was it allowed for almost a year and a half, and then all of a sudden, poof, it's no longer allowed? So kind of want to cover that. Going to be covering a lot of stuff with the Moltdown. So many people who are unfamiliar with Moltdown don't know what it is. Maybe this will be something that you're interested in. You want to know what happened to the server. Or if you just don't care, then skip over this video, I guess. And yes, I'm still suffering from the cold and my voice is starting to come back, but still a little bit groggy with my vocal cords, so probably from sucking dick. I don't know. Who knows? So anyways, 2 years ago, what really happened in Moltdown still remains a mystery. Sure, there are those who have moved on or don't care, or perhaps are not even around during the fall of Molten. So say what you want about the video, my conclusions and my conclusions. I encourage you to draw your own conclusions and find out for yourself as well. There's a lot of stuff out there, guys. There's a lot of videos and Reddit threads out there about what happened that day. I even streamed personally. I streamed that day. What's going on? And had a lot of I had a lot of the community on my my stream that day. I had over 18,000 people watching the stream, which is the most people I've ever had watch the stream. Go ahead and get this pestilence going here. A lot of the staff was there. Pruterian, Borean, just there's a lot of people there. Even Kayer himself was there for a time. We had him in the stream. Me and Jay both streamed that, so if you guys remember those stream days, yeah, we had a lot of stuff going on, talking about a lot of stuff that was going on that day. So however, much of the truth still gets buried by the fact that no one is left to defend the other side of the story, as in Hermes' side. I'm not saying, and I'm not going to shift blame saying one side was wrong and the other side wasn't wrong. As far as I'm concerned, both sides are wrong, and to this day, the actual truths of who's right, who's wrong, still has never come to light exactly. Let me just pull all this junk while I'm waiting. There's a few misconceptions I'd like to clear up first about the whole thing. The servers were never hijacked. The data was hijacked, but not the servers per se. The servers, well, the data, certain data was hijacked. I wouldn't say hijacked, I would say held for ransom. Would be more the word I'm using, and apparently I'm missing. Let's go ahead and mine through to that while we're thinking about it. Yes. There we go, this Smart Strike's in. Free death coils, yeah. They were given to Hermes, actually. The servers were given up by Kayer to Hermes when Kayer decided he wanted to retire. So they weren't exactly hijacked, they were already given to Hermes. He already had complete control over them, so the notion that he wouldn't just hijack the servers is total BS, because he already had control of them anyways. Because Kayer had given Hermes control of the servers to begin with, so just want to clear that up. A lot of people get that wrong. That's just utterly false nonsense, untruth. He had control of them and he gave them up, so zippy doo dah, I guess. So moving along. When Kayer left the server, he had set up a payment plan with Hermes that he would still get paid. So basically, he was retired with a nice pension, a nice big fat pension bonus. A lot of people don't know that he was actually getting paid when he was gone. So a lot of people don't understand that for whatever reason. They're like, oh, well, he came back because everything was a mess. No, he was getting paid. The payments actually stopped to Kayer, which is one of the reasons why he came back. It wasn't just well, everything was going on and all this stuff. No, Hermes had a tax issue, and he decided that he was not going to pay Kayer his portion, and he was not going to pay. He was just going to hold on to everything. And since everything was in his name, there was pretty much nothing that Kayer could do. He had given up the rights to a lot of his stuff to Hermes when he made him basically leader of Moltdown. These were in monthly installments that he was paid, by the way, not like yearly or anything like that. He was paid monthly by Hermes, so just clear that up. The actual deal has never been officially announced what happened, but a lot of people want to talk about, well, why didn't they try to get the servers back, Funky? What happened with the servers? I was told by multiple sources when I was still, I wouldn't say in with the staff, but talking with the staff and knowing a lot of people there. Oops, clicked the wrong thing there. Let's go this way, click that, and here we go. Do I have it? Is it on me? Oh, I'm an idiot. Let's go ahead and get that on. Boom, bitch. Okay. But there was an offer of $3 million made to Hermes. Supposedly, it was what I was told by... This is not just a forum moderator or a certain nobody. This was a person who's pretty highly into the Molten staff. This is not just some random nobody. This is somebody who's high up in the hierarchy, I guess you could say, of staff-wise. So I was told by this person that they had offered a sum of $3 million, and I heard a different story of $1 million. So either which way, there was a lot of money involved with trying to get the servers back, and unfortunately, that did not work. I can imagine, I don't know how much I really trust that part of the story, because that's quite a bit of money. I don't know how much tax evasion debt you had, but I'm sure it wasn't that much. I could be wrong, but I kind of highly doubt it. So take out of that what you will. I don't know what to make of that. Okay, apparently this warrior's just pulling everything. Sweetness. Anyways, Kayer was already back before Moltdown happened. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that he was actually back and doing stuff long before all this other stuff happened. So a lot of people don't understand that, don't realize that. He was actually already back. They want to say, well, he came back to rescue the servers. No, he was already back trying to figure out what was going on because he wasn't getting his payments, according to the sources I have. So that, I want to bust that out right now. That is just a totally untrue thing that was made up by God knows who. That I don't know. Even I don't know. Like I said, if Hermes was in financial issues, you can look this stuff up. I'll provide all the links for it in the video. Where he had Skiddaw and was basically that was basically the moneymaker for Molten, and let me go ahead and mount here real quick. Sorry, I know I'm kind of breaking up here, so I can just go do shit real quick. But anyways, excuse me. He had all this stuff going on, or he got caught not paying his taxes, like I said before. So this resulted in him saving the money that he was supposed to be paying Hermes, or Hermes was supposed to be paying Kayer, and he ended up using that money to, I'm assuming, save up or pay off his debt that he owed for tax evasion. I'm not quite sure on that. I don't think there's anything I found through any source or anything I was told by anybody on the staff about what exactly that was used for. I just know he was in tax evasion, and this is true. As far as I know, this has not been disputed by anyone, or I haven't found anything where this is not true. So he was in tax evasion. For whatever reason, he couldn't pay, or he decided that I don't know how that worked or whatnot, but decided he didn't want to pay his taxes. So that was, I guess, fine. And well, I shouldn't say fine, but it was one of the reasons why this whole thing happened. So Kayer gave him a deadline, which he was supposed to get stuff taken care of and have the money back, and he apparently did not make the deadline, and that's when Kayer decided to initiate total takeover. So in that regard, I kind of have to blame Kair for that a little bit, because there could have been a different way, there could have been a different outcome regarding that. Instead, it came down to okay, you're not gonna do this deadline. Well, I'm hijacking the servers from you. So basically, it was Kair who hijacked the servers, or attempted to start hijacking stuff back. It was not Hermes. It was Kair who hijacked stuff back. So this whole Hermes hijacked the server, Hermes hijacked this, is total actually BS. The person who actually hijacked was Hermes himself, or Kair himself. It was not Hermes who hijacked. So I want to clear that up. There's a lot of issues with that. People using the wrong verbiage for that. It was actually Kair who hijacked the servers, and it just so happens that Hermes, in response to the hijack that was resulting, decided to take the data, which had all of our characters and stuff like that on it, and basically hold it for ransom. So there's a bit of a difference there. It wasn't just hijacked by Hermes. Hermes didn't just go off the handle. He was given an ultimatum, but the initial hijack was actually started by Kair. A lot of people don't know that. It's a bit of information that some people still don't understand how the hijack actually happened, or I should say what really happened. That's a huge one. Just want to throw that out there, that's what really happened. And yeah, so moving on. Kair went ahead and got control of the Trinity servers. He got ahead of went ahead and got control of the website and all the data from the website, all threads and whatnot. And he went ahead and got the GoDaddy account that he had set up for the forums and whatnot secured. He secured everything he could, but the one thing he could not secure, because he had been the one who had given the player data to Hermes. So it was actually his own fault, by his own hand, that we do not have, excuse me, the characters that we had back then. Like I said before, I know a lot of you guys might not care, might not really know what's going on, and that's fine. But for those of you who have lost tons of tunes in this, in what happened, it really hits home. I mean, I still have, to this day, it's 2 years later, and I still haven't replaced a lot of the best in slot characters I lost, just because I don't have the time to do it like I did back then. Not to mention the gold, all the achievements, everything else. There was a lot that was lost that people don't understand, and they don't quite comprehend. I mean, granted, we do have a better server now, and I am very thankful for that. And I believe that was one of the good things that came out of this Moltdown. There have been good things that have come out of this Moltdown. There's also been a lot of bad things that could have been handled differently and handled better. So I just wanted, in this video, I just want to talk about those things. Again, I just want to, trying to explain myself and what really happened here. So take it as you will. I highly suggest that people go and research it yourself. Moving on. Like I said, when Hermes found out about the hack that was going on, basically Kair hijacking the servers back, Hermes went ahead and sealed off the player data and held that as ransom. Now, like I said before, with the money that was involved, I don't know what happened with the money and the ransom. I don't know the exact details. All I know is that there was a supposed offer on the table to get the servers back by Kair. It was sent to Hermes, and he basically said no. He wanted more of it. I don't really know. And there's a lot of numbers involved and figures, and like I said, that'll be in the comment section below, or in the description section below. I will be putting a links in there to the Reddit stuff and other sites that are that have a lot of the information on it if you guys are interested in looking it up for yourselves and drawing your own conclusions. One of the big things I have, but the big problems I have with Moltdown was with the post that they had about keeping players informed, letting them know what's going on, and being more. They said that they wanted to be more transparent with the community in everything that they did, and this to this day has not happened at all. There have been many instances where this has not happened, such as I'll just cover a few here. Even they were when all guilds that were doing 25 heroic Sanctum, if you guys remember this, I believe it was last May. last May I lied. Excuse me, May of 2015, when all these guilds, all of the top guilds who were doing anything in Ruby Sanctum were all banned for basically nonsense. I got on my stream, we talked about it, and I'll live for that energy. I talked with Beep Beep, Nathan, yeah, if you guys know who that is, talked with him about it, Edifice, and basically explained what was going on. Aurora was the only one unbanned that day, and I even got people that were on the staff came to me and said, you know what, that video needs to be made, you know, that's bullshit that we have to, it is bullshit, you're right, it is bullshit, and got a lot of positive feedback on that, and unfortunately we were the only ones to get unbanned on that whole mess, and the rest of the guilds had to wait out their bans, even though it was proven that the bans were utter bullshit, and there was no reason for us to be banned whatsoever. And neither of the other guilds as well. Now, whether if this was a issue with them transitioning with having AT devs, I don't know, because it had been going on for months. Everything that was going on in Ruby Sanctum had been going on for quite some time. Not saying that we were exploiting, but there were guilds who were using the corporeality exploit pretty audaciously, to put it in a term that might be understood by people. Very audaciously, people were going in there and using that exploit a lot, and basically making Ruby Sanctum just a joke. But moving on, there's other things too that the community. The vote point change. When the vote point change happened, if you guys are familiar with that and what happened with the vote point change, basically they changed the vote points. You could buy ICC normal gear with it, and all of a sudden the next day, I mean, this went on for a while. You could buy ICC gear with it for about a year or so, and then poof, out of nowhere, they just decided that, okay, we're no longer going to do that. We're going to go back to the way the old way was, and you can only use your vote points for Udalar gear, 219 gear. And the community was not told, nobody was informed, it just poof, it just happened one day. And yeah, that was kind of a little bit of no warning, definitely no transparency with the community whatsoever when it comes to that. So that was a little bit ridiculous. Just another thing where, you know, where, like I'm saying, where they said they were going to be transparent, and they still have yet to be transparent with the community on a lot of things. Those are just some examples I wanted to give out. So yeah, there's been a lot of stuff. It seems to me like the Molten staff has gone exactly back to where they were. There was a lot of apologies going on. Moderators saying that they were, we were bound by Hermes to say this. We weren't allowed to do this. We weren't. But BS. You weren't allowed to do all that stuff because you guys are right back to doing it again. I mean, you can't, like I said before, you can't even say the words Moltdown without getting your comment basically put on pause and never reviewed to be entered, because for whatever reason they don't want Moltdown being spoken of on the forums. They just tried to bury the hatchet like it was no big deal, it's over. And while I do agree with at some point it is over, there's enough talk about it already, you can go out there and look it up for yourself. It's one thing about that, but it's another thing to completely delete it when you were allowing it for a year and a half, and now all of a sudden you won't. So it just begs the question, why is it okay to talk about it beforehand for almost a year, like I said, and now all of a sudden it's no longer, you can no longer talk about it. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You should be allowed to be to talk about it. I mean, people want to know what happened. I get tons of people in my stream, even to this very day. Oh, hey, what server did you go to, Funky? Or where are you playing at now? Or what's going on with this? Warmane's still, or Molten's still alive? I mean, there's a lot of players who left here that still never came back, or still don't know what's going on, and still don't know that this is the old Molten. I mean, there's a lot of players like that. So, I mean, it is worth talking about, because, like I said, there's tons of people who don't even know what's going on to this very day. I want to just talk about the staff saying that our hands were tied by Hermes. We weren't allowed. He made us post this. He made us post that. He made us be dicks. Basically, it was the forum moderators. One in particular, which I'm not going to get into that because then I'll get blamed for something else. But I think you can tell where I'm going with this. She came out and said that basically you know, he was forcing our hands. I highly doubt that. I doubt Hermes is really caring what the forum moderators say. I'm sure he's not watching over them, making sure that they're saying this or saying that. I mean, that's just complete and utter trash as far as I'm concerned. It's just ridiculous. So the entire staff, minus the new additions from AT, have gone back to their old ways immediately after the Moltdown era. Within like the first couple months, they went back to their old ways. And it's true. You should see how if you look and see how they were acting then, and you look and see how they were acting now, it's just, or you look to see how they were acting before Moltdown, during Moltdown, in the months in between Moltdown, and then how they were acting, you know, now. And it's now versus 3 years ago is the same. But for that little tiny window from January 2015 till about March, April 2015, they had a whole different attitude. The entire staff did. And there for a while was actually nice. But unfortunately has gone back to the old ways. And that's very sad. What else is there? Like most people, I too was played for a fool. It wasn't until my May conversation with staff and others that I found out what really happened. And while it has been 2 years now, and it is long past, we do have a much better quality server. I still believe a lot of players, of which have come to my stream, which I talked about a minute ago, to talk with me about Moltdown or how they don't want to come back after losing other characters, deserve to know the truth of what happened, or at least how much of the truth that I am aware of. There's more out there on the web you can find if you dig enough. I will post all relevant information I have so you may read it for yourself and in the description below. In the end, 2 men had to fight over a pile of money and we all lost out, and that's very sad. Judge for yourself and draw your own conclusions, guys.